It's awesome music. It's time for part 2 of our series on Alberta's oil boom, or as we all like to call it together, Oilberta. Tonight we're going to focus on Fort McMurray, Alberta, or as the locals call it, Fort McMoney. The city has exploded from the oil boom. In the past decade, the population has shot up 75%. 75%. Take a wild guess what the vacancy rate for apartments is. I'll give you a second with that. How much? 0! There's 0 vacancy. There's big money for sure and good times. But as we all know, from the great poets of our time, more money means more problems. So who's in Fort McMurray? Who's making all this money? We decided to send our VJ Yasser Khan out to find out.
Fort McMurray, Alberta. Population, about 60,000. Average age, 32. Average income, around $91,000. Saturday night, I'm invited to a Halloween party in one of this town's most popular clubs.
It seems like I'm in a bit of a frontier town. Definitely very different from Toronto or even Houston, like very, very primitive.
Any day of the week is a party night for anybody. So there's two things, is either your work or your party.
Me, I'm only 21 right now, and I'm making $1,600 a week as a second year. $1,600 a week.
Here's where the dollars come from. This is Syncrude, one of the oil companies here. Almost 6,000 people work here. Alan Moore is one of them.
It takes about 2 tons of oil sands to make a barrel of oil. So that represents, a large truck would represent 200 barrels of oil. They run on a 24-hour basis.
In Fort McMurray, oil is a 24-hour business, and everything about it is big. The money's big too. Just ask the people at one of Canada's busiest auto dealerships.
We sell an awful lot of trucks here, and they're all done up to the nines. They're all loaded to the hilt.
This one here is just under 53,000.
At any given time, there are over 100 trucks here.
We're open from 7 in the morning until 2:30 in the morning. I believe it works out to 96 hours a week. We don't need a night watchman because we hardly ever close.
Spoils a lot of people, especially when you get people like 19, 20 years old living at home with their parents, making 100, 125 grand a year. What are you going to do with your money?
Really, what are you going to do with all that money? Well, for starters, you can pay rent.
If you get a house or whatever, it's expensive.
Well-equipped kitchen.
The average rent in Fort McMurray is about $1,100 a month.
I have similar 3 houses, and mostly all the houses are full.
Sam and his family moved to Canada from India only 3 years ago.
Now this room is vacant.
He now works at one of the oil companies here. His $400,000 homes pay for themselves.
Buildings have been erected, you've got new siding on them, and so I'm seeing things that literally I've never seen before.
Mayor Melissa Blake is hoping the construction boom here will even out the real estate and rental markets.
We're producing breakneck speeds for a community this side, but it's still not enough for the people that are wanting the housing.
And there are a lot of people coming here. The city's population is expected to hit 100,000 in the next 5 to 7 years.
When I asked a developer how I could convince him to build his homes more quickly, he says, well, what I'd have to do is have you provide accommodations for them. So even the workers on the sites here are challenged by the housing that they're providing.
Could it be that the boom is too big for the boom town? In Fort McMurray, there are few affordable places to live, but you can always find work.
Every place you go, even like McDonald's, Burger King, places like that are offering up to like 14, 16 bucks an hour because it's so hard to find people because everybody is after like the 30, 40 bucks an hour out on site.
Welcome to Tim Hortons. Can I take your order, please?
Service workers are in such short supply that there are only 2 Tim Hortons in town, and the lineups are long.
It's 10, 15-minute wait, sometimes 20. Parked out on the highway half the time.
For the workers who come here on short-term contracts, companies provide housing. About 10,000 men live in dorm-like work camps.
It's actually the biggest expansion in our history.
Over the next 15 years, investment in the oil sands could add up to more than $100 billion. More oil equals more jobs equals more money. So, back at the club, everybody knows the party is far from over.
I mean, when you make so much money, you got to party, right? You got to.
You know, it doesn't matter how much money they're making, still listening to crap music. What is that? Follow me! Yasser Khan is here. Where the hell's that?
I got you something from Fort McMurray.
What is that?
This is the stuff, man.
What stuff?
This is the oil sands.
Yeah, sure it is. That's what you tell the people at the border, right? No, it's totally oil sands.
Smell it. It smells like freshly paved roads.
It does. So this is the stuff that everybody's talking about now.
Yeah, 2 tons of that will make you a barrel of oil. Worth about $60.
$60. So what's this worth? Like a dime?
Probably a couple of
that's
cents.
very cool. That's amazing. Did you have a good time when you were up there?
I had my moments.
You did? Tell me, you know, whenever you see something like this, where town booms, you always know that there are people there are locals there, and they must have mixed emotions as to what's happening there.
Well, actually, you know what? They had mixed emotions about the media. They're actually very media shy. A lot of people were they needed a lot of persuasion to talk to you because there's been a lot of media there, NBC, CBS, Boston Globe, not just Canadian media, Wall Street Journal. And what happened is, you know, a couple of those, the people there feel that a couple of those media outlets have actually covered them unfairly. And, you know, I needed to talk to them, tell them that this is for the CBC, and, you know, eventually
I take your
unidentified
substance. Did you tell them it was the hour? No, you didn't.
They love the hour.
Whatever. Yes, sir, thanks a lot.
Good to see you.